So guys, many people are insisting that the Tinubu's government must start prosecuting some of these northerners who have been named to have ties with these terrorists. Now, take a look at this headline here. It says, any relationship between government officials and terrorism mounts to betrayal of Nigerians. Group warns Tinubu against failure to investigate Metawale. Metawale has been in the news. If you've been following the news recently, you know that this former general accused Malami and some military chiefs to be the ones sponsoring terrorism. Metawale has been in the news even before Tinubu appointed him as a Minister for State Defense. You know, as regards to insecurity. And recently, Bello Tuji, the wanted terrorist, came out confirming that he has ties with him. He also said 2 ex-governors are responsible for the insecurity. He called on the government to investigate Metawale. Now, this is Deji saying former Attorney General Malami must be prosecuted by EFCC despite his crocodile tears. Malami has also been named by this ex-general. This general you are seeing here, Ali Kefi, is somebody Nigeria can really trust. But guess what? They retired him because he was exposing terror funders. He was exposing them. And guess what? They locked him. A general was jailed for 64 days. On the day he was released, he was handed over his retirement letter. And that was how he left the military. They humiliated him. Till now, he has not recovered from the shame they gave him because he wanted to serve Nigeria by exposing those, funding terrorism. And Nigerians are wondering, why is Tinubu silent upon all the names that have been mentioned? In this country, the former minister of defense that just left, said that we cannot bomb terrorists. This Metawale himself said, not all bandits are bad. A whole lot of statements that have come out from the north that will show you that they are the ones helping these guys to breed and terrorize Nigeria. People like Buhari said, any attack on Boko Haram is attack on the north. Sultan of Sokoto is also alleged to have said something like that. They call them freedom fighters. They don't want them to be touched. And this time around, they asked Tinubu to grant them amnesty, pardon, repentant Boko Haram, and all kinds of things. Tell me why we will not continue fighting insecurity. You hardly see an elder from the north coming out to condemn the insecurity or the killing of people. You see Fulanis, they go into Benue, Plateau, they light up a house where people are sleeping. They lock the door so that the people cannot run and inflame it. People will die, will be choked into that inside of the fire. Nobody condemns it. Nobody sees anything. Anyway, I'm going to allow you to take a look at what Dele Farotimi once said about Issa Pantami, who is also a northerner, a former, Minister for Communication and Digital, whatever. Now, take your time. Watch these videos I've got for you and let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell notification. Now, take a look.
Who sold Nigeria? How did a person like Pantami end up being in charge of our national data? How? Somebody who is a self-confessed terrorist became our Minister for Technology in charge of our national database. How? How? Who sold Nigeria? And me and you, we kept quiet. And then, when Buhari was done, he sold Nigeria as well. He sold it to Tinubu. This is very simple. Look all around you. Every law was compromised to make Tinubu the president of Nigeria. His pedigree didn't matter to the president. His educational background did not matter. He had to be the president. The sovereignty of this country was sold to make Tinubu the president of Nigeria. Laws be damned. Morality be damned. And it's not just the judiciary who sold Nigeria to Tinubu. Where are the elders of this country? Where are they? Where are they? The political class, or should I say crass, where are they? Where are they? Who is speaking? A government is awarding, a president is awarding a contract with a no-bid contract at an unheard of price, at an atrocious sum, outrageous in the extreme, 2 point something. I can't even wrap my brains around the figures any longer. But nobody's talking. Nobody's talking. Nigeria has become Tinubu's property to do with as it pleases. What has Obasanjo said about it? Please, what have you heard from Abdulsalam Abubakar? Which one of your pastors that talked about the coastal road? How much have they collected out of it? Why are they all quiet? Nigeria is the way it is. Something that outrageous has happened that everybody who once spoke have kept quiet. Quiet. It's not even about us imagining things. It is about us being told. We're told routinely. In a country that has over 20 million children out of school, in a country where people cannot go to their farm, in a country that cannot even secure its own border, where somebody was Achi, I think that, yeah, Venerable Achi was kidnapped with his wife and daughter. Ransom was paid, but they killed this man in front of his wife and daughter, who must have been serially raped by now by these monsters. That country had hundreds of children in terrorist custody. The same terrorists who were phoned to release children, the same terrorists Bayo Ononuga told us they have their numbers, they can talk to them, who couldn't be spoken to. How absurd do you get? Hundreds of children in their custody, but this country has enough firepower to go and stop a coup. No problem. On whose authority? We have decades of non-alignment in our foreign policy, but overnight, Tinubu, a president lacking in legitimacy or popular mandate, he had been thwarted in his attempt at attacking Niger, thanks to David Odeyin and whoever leaked that memo. This man, within hours of the coup, could mobilize our Air Force and our special forces into Benin Republic. Before the dust of that one is even clear, under very opaque circumstances, our Air Force jet is grounded in Bobo Dioulasso or wherever in Burkina Faso, with our airmen detained, and they are still busy lying. Who sold Nigeria to Tinubu? That none of you can even talk. Nobody is asking questions. And before the dust is even settled, they are talking about our fathers fought against the sale of Nigerian sovereignty to Britain, who was our colonial master, the original owner of Nigeria, who actually paid a price, purchased it. Our fathers fought and ensured that these people could not, under any stretch of the imagination, bring that defense pact to fruition. But this generation is sitting down. A president forced on the country is selling our sovereignty brazenly. Our tax records, supposedly anonymized, would be shared with another country. Does this make any sense? Who sold this country? Who sold it? Who sold this country? How much was it sold for? Can we redeem it? Is it possible to redeem it? I don't understand exactly where we are, to the point where we do not seem to understand that these unilateral and opaque decisions that explains nothing to anybody, not even a pretense at carrying along the rubber stamp legislative hand, Does it make any sense that we, who are the victims, sit on the fringe whilst decisions are taken, impacting our interest and the interest of our children, the future of everybody, and we just keep quiet? Let me tell you when you become complicit. When citizens refuse to be informed, even if you are victims, to be freed, you must be informed. When information is weaponized against you, when poverty is weaponized against you, but you voluntarily refuse to be informed, you sold Nigeria. When you refuse to participate in the political process, flawed as it is, you failed Nigeria. You sold it. When you fail to demand accountability and transparency, when you find reasons to be silent in the face of evil, it is time now, our money is our own, you failed Nigeria, you sold it. When you refuse to challenge impunity, you sold Nigeria. When you fail to confront, you sold Nigeria. When you laugh and applaud evil because it's happening to somebody you happen not to like, you sold Nigeria. So the persons who sold Nigeria are many and they are varied.
The terrorists confessed that yes, the arms they are carrying was given to them by the government of Kwara State. Abi? You said that the car they are using, the motor they are using to patrol, all of them were supplied by what? Kwara State government. You see what we have been saying all along, that government hand is in this matter. Is it not coming to light now? So how will the government now exonerate itself with this romance with terrorists? How do you explain it? Government has in this. That's why somebody in America called us a disgraced nation. They have all this information, Fina. They have it at the tip of their palms, like they have it. That the government of Nigeria is working with terrorists in Nigeria. The facts are here now before us. So how will anybody deny this now? No, how will the government deny it every time you hear them talking about fighting insecurity? Meanwhile, all is wash. What they are telling you is not what they are doing. They will tell you another thing. Meanwhile, in their mind, in their innermost of their mind, they have a different mindset. Look at what we are seeing, that a government is involved in terrorism. A government. How do you explain all these things, for God's sake? How? You see the real people that are terrorizing, you are in bed, you are in discussion with them, you are romancing with them. Then how can I now believe that you are fighting security? Why is Toju Bello still in Nigeria and nobody have touched him? Why? Every time we are getting close to him, Is the man a spirit? All this while you have been having meeting with him and you don't know where he is. Please, somebody should tell me. The truth is coming home now. That the government is involved in this terrorism. The truth is coming home now. From state to federal, they are involved in this matter. All the facts are there in the open. Because if I tell you, Fina, that look, you see this thing that is happening here, I know the person who behind it. You as the government, instead of you to take action, you pretend as if you do not hear me, you do not see me. It shows that you are involved. That's why you don't want to take action. Simple. There's no other explanation. Your action speaks louder than words.
A Muslim, why does Ilorin have emir? Why is Ilorin a Muslim? Why does Ilorin have emir? If you Yoruba Muslims are so innocent. If Yoruba Muslims are so innocent, how did the Yoruba people lose Ilorin to Islam, to the Islamists? Why is there an emir in it? Okay, it is long ago. Oh yeah, give us Ilorin back. If it is long ago, remove your emir from Ilorin. Why is the emir still in Ilorin? If it was, don't we know that Ilorin is Yoruba land? Why is your emir still there? Can you remove your emir from Ilorin, please? After you tried to kill us in Southwest, 2 times. You try to exterminate us. We defeated you in battle. You are not using our victory against you that subdued you. You Yoruba traitors that went with Afonja and the Muslims. Do you want me to tell you your stories, Yoruba Muslims? Do you want to know your story? That you are the ones that went with fought behind Afonja with the Muslims to try and destroy Yoruba land on behalf of Islam and Northerners, that you all gather here today. All Muslims will gather around and be saying, we want to remove ourselves from Northern, and when you are the people that brought Islam into our lives, try to kill us and steal everything we have for the Northerners, you Yoruba Muslims. Why are Yoruba Muslims not like the Northern Muslims? Because we kicked your ass. We beat the living daylight out of you. We beat you very well. That till today, early misbehave. We beat you very well. That's why Yoruba Muslims cannot misbehave. They were dealt with. They understand what it means to try and fuck with us over here. We dealt with them. That's why you don't do anything. Don't act like you are better than the Northern Muslims. They're not better. You just don't have the clout. You don't have the power. You don't have the numbers to play that your game here. So Yoruba Muslims, be quiet while I'm talking to your Northern brothers. You are the same as them. Go to Ilorin and see the way you behave there. Go to Ilorin, they are cutting people's hair. These people, they just cut your hair on the street. Say because you have Afro. Why will you have Afro? Islam is a problem. We have to address it. Anyway, let me read from the Quran. So not from the Quran, but translations. Let me read translations from the Quran. About what this God thinks of us. The unbelievers, the infidels, the kafirs. I mean, how can these people say you are when you have this kind of words to describe people that don't agree with you? Infidel. I mean, that one too is not in the Quran. There's a politics, there's a game here. We, the people, are trapped in the middle. Arabic imperialists, European imperialists. Everybody siphoning, stealing, drawing blood out of Africa. Using African people as the scapegoat. It is the same whether or not you forewarn them, the unbelievers. They will have no faith. Quran 2, chapter 6. God will mock them, God will mock them and keep them long in sin, blundering blindly along. 2:15. A fire whose fuel is men and stones await them. Quran 2:24. They will be rewarded with disgrace in this world and with grievous punishment on the day of resurrection. Quran 2:85. God's curse be upon the infidels. Quran 2:89. They have incurred God's most inexorable wrath, and an ignominious punishment awaits them. Quran 2:90. God is the enemy of the unbelievers. Quran 2:98. The unbelievers among the people of the book, Christian and Jews that is, and the pagans, we resent that any blessing should have been sent down to you from your Lord. Quran 2:105. They shall be held up to shame in this world and sternly punished in the hereafter. Quran 2:114. Those to whom we have given the book and who read it as it ought to be read truly believe in it. Those that deny it shall assuredly be lost. Quran 2:122. We shall let them live a while. See, this is tolerance. This is the tolerance they talk about. Listen to it. We shall let them live a while, and then shall drag them to the scourge of the fire. That's why they burn people after they kill them. Evil shall be their fate. Now before I continue, let me even continue. Let me keep giving you gems upon gems. People keep saying, how beautifully these holy books are written. I read them. I've read the Bible. There's nothing beautiful about what's in the Bible. Full of blood, mayhem, trickery, stealing, killing, genocide, lies, manipulation, ego. You understand? This is what is in there. Let's continue. Fighting is obligatory for you, much as you dislike it, but you may hate a thing although it is good for you, and love a thing although it is bad for you. God knows but you know not. Quran 2:16. They will not cease to fight against you until they force you to renounce your faith, if they are able. But whoever of you recants and dies an unbeliever, his work shall come to nothing in this world and in the world to come. Such men shall be the tenants of hell, wherein they shall abide forever. Those that have embraced the faith and those that have fled their land and fought for the cause of God may hope for God's mercy. 2:17-18. God does not guide the evildoers. God does not guide the unbelievers. The evildoers, we have none to help them. God guidance to. So when you fight everywhere, fight, yet you are religion of peace. As I said, the only way there can be peace where the religious Islamists and even the Christians are is if everybody believe in their faith. If you think I am lying, go and be an Ifa worshipper in a company where the MD goes to Redeem Church. Go and look at a company where the MD is in Redeem. All the people there that will be doing well will be in Redeem Church. It is the same. It is just that the political cloud.
Elvis, let me start with you. Malami, recuse yourself because, I mean, there's a conflict of interest. You were secretary in the Ayo Salami investigation, of the Commission of Inquiry. I chaired it and all of that. And I know your disposition and all of that. So now, this is a case of why me? You are bringing people who are supposed to be extradited. I think you like that word, extradition and rendition, because we will come to that in a moment. And he's saying, look, Olukoyede recuse herself. What's your reaction to the fact that anytime somebody is caught, is being investigated, you ask, why me? Why not other people?
I think I'm happy that it's happening now that he has also left the office, and he has also seen what happened to some Nigerians when he was there as Minister for Justice and Attorney General of the Federation. Some people also made this kind of accusation when he was there, which he is making now too. Again, he said that because of his political alignment and some kind of now, forget about that. If really you don't have skeleton in your cupboard and you are investigated, let's get to the court. The court will do the needful. At the level of investigation, you are saying that the head of the agency should recourse himself out of your matter. So, or should be taken to another agency. Is it ICPC? The agency that spotted your matter, that started the investigation, let them do their job. But the only area I'm accusing the agency is, let this be done in dispatch so that he can appear in court. Let him face the judge and let his charges be read to him, and now begin to think of how to defend him. That keeping him in detention while they are talking about investigation.
So you agree with him that he should be arraigned within 24 hours?
Within 24 hours, that's how he's supposed to let him be arraigned. Then he will know his charges and he now face his charges before the judge. Okay. Not that he is kept and you are being in detention, then you are still talking of doing your investigation, which means they have not really done their job.
Talking about reforming our criminal justice
yes,
system. Before now, the Prince, sorry, Elvis Land.
The EFCC have not done their job diligently before bringing him into detention. Okay. They should have concluded that, then meet in court, let the court grant him bail, and if the court meets his bail conditions, then he will be attending to his matter from home or wherever.
All right, then. Prince, let's bring you in. I heard you in the morning on the radio, VOP radio, and you were asked about this issue of Malami. Now, do you think it has anything to do with political witch hunt? That is one question. Another question is, we see this administration more like trying itself. When I say trying itself, Buhari handed over to Tinubu, the APC, the same APC, more like a seamless transition from one party to the same party. And we see this administration trying Chibueze Ngige, who served as Minister of Labour, APC. We see Hadi Seriki, Aviation Minister under Buhari, APC. Now Malami, former AG, tied to Abacha Lutz under APC. Is that an intentional fight against corruption in this that we see this administration carry on?
I don't see it as a corruptional fight. I just think that we have a system that is not working. And when I say the system is not working, we do not have a system that punishes you, that holds you responsible when it should. Malami has raised some concerns. As a Nigerian and as somebody who watches political development, those concerns are serious. Why was he not arrested when he was a member of the APC?
But I just listed members of the APC that have been arrested.
No. When you say member, he's no longer a member of APC.
No, but I just also listed some APC members that are under investigation.
Okay, let's be very honest with ourselves. I believe in justice. And like I've always said, you cannot have peace without justice.
What's your definition of justice in this case?
My definition of justice is that, one, when you pick up somebody, 24 hours, take him to court. Justice is not left for EFCC to determine. EFCC is not the body that determines who is clean and who is not clean. The job of EFCC is to do investigation, arrest somebody, and take the person to court. But the EFCC is not acting as a court of its own. It's not, I will not support that. That's an abuse. Unfortunately, Nigeria is a country where you get arrested before investigation is commenced. But ordinarily, the investigation should have been commenced beforehand, completed, so that as they are arresting you, they're taking you to court. It becomes the responsibility of the court to determine whether you are guilty or not.
Prince, in trying not to, cloak this whole trial with a toga of political witch hunt, should we not try Malami for what he did as Attorney General?
I am not saying no. See, let me tell you, my happiness is that Idike, Malami, and others that you have mentioned, they are feeling what ordinary the poor Nigerians feel every day. But you must do it in the right way.
Okay.
Nobody will say, don't try Malami or don't try Idike. But what I'm saying is that you do not arrest somebody and start an investigation. Conclude with the investigation, arrest the person, and take the case to court. Let the court now decide.
What if the freedom of that person will impede investigation?
In what way?
In several ways.
No. Putting that person under lock and key of EFCC
might impede investigation.
No. Putting that person under lock and key of EFCC is why you have this whole issue of political witch hunt. That is why.
Now, I just asked you, what if setting that person free, you arrest him, you are investigating him, and he's free? Is it not going to impede?
No. Okay, I said something. Maybe you didn't hear me. Before you arrest somebody, conclude the investigation and make sure that you have a tight, watertight case.
What if that person is critical to your investigation?
In what way?
His presence.
In what way?
You need his presence.
Is he running away?
Some of them do.
Is he running away?
Some do run away.
You already have his international passport. The best you can do is put him under house arrest.
What if he's having multiple passports apart from just your
Apart from having multiple passports, you have 1,708
dollars. Exactly, Nigeria, that people can do.
You need to. You also. That's why you go to court. That's why you put somebody on bail. That's why people stand for bail for somebody. So when you put him on bail, somebody that will come and bail him will be somebody that you know that if you hold this person, you must produce him.
Bond.
I mean, see, the problem is this. EFCC has lost its core responsibility to Nigerians, not just to anybody. It's just like the Nigerian police. You go to the police station, you see a lot of people in the cell. And by the time you start making inquiry, you find out that they are investigating you. Why would you be investigating somebody and have the person under key and lock?
Okay. Well, let's bring Julius Oguro into this conversation. Julius, thank you very much for staying back. Now, about Malami, it's an alarming sum that he's being accused of embezzling. $310 million. Monies recovered from loot. And, we've always talked about these monies recovered. What happens to these monies recovered? And then Nigerians in hushed tones tell themselves, oh, these monies are relooted. But we have Malami now in the eye of the storm. What's your reaction to this? Should we put this on partisan politics, witch hunting, and let it slide, or how would you react, or how do you react to this trial going on right now, in light of the other trial as well, Ngige, whose lawyers applied for bail but was refused bail because they say he's a flight risk, and the rest, everything going on right now. Not forgetting Emefiele, who's been in court since this administration came into office, even though some things have been recovered, but he's still, going in and out of court. Sometimes even the EFCC and the police drag him like the soldiers in the olden days dragged the linen of Jesus. What exactly? How do you react to all of this?
It's one thing, if you are guiltless, you should submit yourself to trial, to investigation and to trial. When Malami was in charge, they also went against the opposition figures. So it's neither here nor there. And I found it very funny, even almost incredible, that he was asking for the EFCC chairman to recuse himself. It is funny because you can't, like, if the police stops you and you now ask the IG to recuse himself, they're doing their job, in my view, in the sense that it is the duty, it is the task of the EFCC to investigate, to detain. I don't think it has to do with the person or the personality of the EFCC chairman.
What if it does?
I don't think he has to.
What if it does?
Hello?
What if it does? What if it does?
No, really, you can't do that. Like, if police stopped you on the road and you said President Tinubu should stop being president because you had an issue with him, it doesn't make sense. The EFCC is obligated to do its job. They should do it. Probably, you may say they may have, they may not do the same thing to somebody who is in the APC. But, that does not mean that everybody who is in the opposition should be let free because, if they touch you, so no, because I'm in the opposition. It doesn't make sense. The fact is that you should be blame free. If you are not blame free, you innocent, you should submit yourself to investigation and trial. So I don't see it from the prism of witch hunting or whatever. This is how Nigeria has been. When the Malami was in charge, the former EFCC chairman was his close associate, and they went seriously hard against opposition figure and people they perceive to be anti their government, they're anti the administration. So should we stop all prosecution, all investigation, because people will come out and say, they are against me because I'm in the position? So it doesn't make sense to me. The fact is that you should be blame-free. You should be innocent. You should not put your hand into the tilt. If there's suspicion, that there's a great suspicion that you have done something wrong, whether you're in the opposition, whether you're in the ruling party, the government has the right, the police has the right to come for you. So in this case, I don't think his argument holds water. He should be defending himself. He should be saying, no, I didn't do this. I wasn't involved in this. And, I think the case should go to trial. I'm really interested to see the outcome of this.
Okay.
With other suspects in Ngige and Co, it's the same thing. Let it go to trial. Let's see what the FCC has against them and should present it in court. The FCC, in the end, will not be the final arbiter of this. They will only present their case and the judges will make a decision. I found it very funny and laughable. This was a man that was in power a few years ago and they rode roughshod over Nigeria. They did all sorts of things. And now it is now on the other thing. They are against me. If the government should say, okay, we are not going after opposition figure, of course, they will not go after people who are also aligned with the APC. So what will happen to the country? So everybody can just still misbehave, and just because you're in the opposition, that gets you a free ticket? I don't think so.
All right, then. Thank you very much. Sachuka Nabife, with the antecedents of EFCC, especially if you want to take the issue of Mr. Godwin Emefiele, put it in context. He was arrested, accused of owning a weapon, accused of some other things that were later dropped. Now, can we exonerate the EFCC from witch hunting in this regard? saying that the man is saying these accusations against me are fabricated. He's been accused of terrorism financing. That's part of the thing, and that's heavy. That is a heavy allegation leveled against him. Terrorism financing and a few other things.
Thank you. Maybe because I am in the media and I've seen a lot. I don't subscribe to these media trials that some of these agencies, in their bid and bravado to show that they are working, do. Malami is within his rights to ask that somebody he suspects not to have the qualification to give him fair judgment should recuse himself. It is within his right. And in law, it is within natural justice that somebody should not be involved in his own case or a case that he is involved in. It is a cardinal thing in law. So if Malami can establish that the EFCC helmsman, it doesn't need to be the person in charge of the investigation or the prosecution officer. No. Because the man at the top gives the man who is implementing the case the directive. Or don't you understand it that way? So Malami is within his right to say he should recuse himself. He is also within his right. I would have been against him if he is saying that the case should be thrown away, because no, he said
So guys, a whole lot has been happening. The internet has been set abuzz after the terror guys who were arrested in Kwara State, you know, having vehicles, who said vehicles they were having and ammunition, AK-47 was given to them by the state government. Now, upon investigation, they are now being linked to Nuhu Ribadu, the NSA, to the Tinubu's government. Like you can see, Kwara government confirms arrested armed men are Mieti Allah members involved in NSA Ribadu's led security operation. So Ribadu, as NSA, is busy distributing Fulanis to other states to go and be the one protecting the states. So guys, how did we get it? Anyway, I blame the governors, because when they say set up community policing, the thing is difficult. Look at the Tiger Basin in Owerri. It is terrorizing the people. You cannot have a friendly police. How can two work together unless they agree? Police must be frightful. You know, military must be frightful. If you see them, your mind must skip and all that. It's not supposed to be like that. I mean, if we really want to end insecurity, there are ways to go about it that you cannot even try to, you know, avoid. You have to make sure the people are your friend. You have to make sure you follow the people. Anyway, let me read some of the reaction. This person said, this armed Plateau and Benue militias defending their land but end up arming the aggressors, which are Mieti Allah. You know, it's clear the terrorism in Nigeria is state-sponsored. Hey, which Mieti Allah security again? If them explain, give you understand and you know well. No matter the confession, nothing will come out of it. Now today, you see the people dancing on the road. Kindly know there are that there is someone beating the drum for them in the bush. And this other person here said, Nigeria has happened to me. My sister and brothers was kidnapped today on their way coming from Abuja in Edo State at Okene, close to Auchi. This person is talking that Nigeria has happened to him. And this other person here say, God, how are they, the Mieti Allah terrorist group, part of NSA-led operation and approved to carry AK-47? There's nothing sinister happening. There's something sinister happening in this Nigeria, honestly. It's really, really so sad that this is really happening under Tinubu's watch. How did we get here? And how are we going to come out of this mess? That's the question every Nigerian should be asking. Because like people who say, if they explain Nigeria and give you cannot understand this country at all. Now, this person said the plot is indeed getting very interesting and very telling. when a state government openly confirmed that that arrested armed men are members of Miyetti Allah, and that the arrest happened during a security operation led by National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu, it raises a whole lot of questions. It raises serious questions Nigeria can no longer ignore. First, it shatters the long-held narrative that armed herdsmen are merely misunderstood farmers. These are organized armed actors, now officially acknowledged by government authorities. Second, if the men were arrested during an NSA coordinated operation, the government clearly knows who the actors are, where they operate, and how they move, which leads to an uncomfortable question: why has decisive action not taken so long? I think that's what he actually wanted to say. And thirdly, this person here said, third, this confirmation exposes the deep entanglement between security failure and political sensitivity when armed groups are shielded by ethnic or political caution in security tribes. The biggest takeaway: this isn't random violence. It's structured, known, and now publicly admitted. Nigeria should pay close attention. Once the mask starts coming off, the entire script changes. And this other person here said, Raimo, note that NSA head you recently met with whom you seek security cooperation is alleged to be a non-state militia group known for inciting hatred and violence against non-Muslims. I think this makes sense for people to notify Raimo. And this person here, Raimo, these are the real issues. They are hidden agenda in what is happening. The government is not coming out clean because they truly know what is happening. The world is watching the next step of Pontus to all this whole issue around the genocide. I think this makes a lot of sense. And this one here, hear what the brothers are talking. These are so Miyetti Allah are now machineries the federal government hires to fight insecurity. The problem with the idiots in the APC government is that they think everyone has no brain and are as foolish as them. Imagine this kind of lie. And this person here said, the bandits said, na Kwara government give them arm and security car. Kwara government talk say, na Miyetti Allah involved in Ribadu-led security. Wanna see how them turn us to table tennis. There is nothing you want to tell me our government is in bed with the terrorists. And this other person here said, when Canada government proscribed APC party as a terrorist group, their supporters were running their mouth like tap water, which has lost its control. All indications have now revealed now that APC is the terrorist, kidnapper, and bandit, useless government. So guys, these are Nigerians bitterly reacting to this headline. This is why Nuhu Ribadu NSA should resign. Why? When you arm corporates, who else do you want? What else do you want? Miyetti Allah are the ones committing these killings, and same body you made forest guards. Nigeria is a theater of absurdity. Somebody should explain this to Nigerians. Sack Ribadu now. Sack Ribadu now. This should be what should be trending by this time. Sack Ribadu now. Now, this one here says, something is terribly wrong in our country. The AK-47 within civilians or villains in the killings and kidnapping of Nigerians are the Fulanis. Then, who better to arm with 4 AK-47 is supposedly catch the criminal than the same Fulanis? This is what you do when you own a country. Okay, I didn't get that. Ribadu is a Fulani man, so how do you expect him to go against their Fulani agenda? They offered their office to him to protect and support their movement. I didn't fault him, but the president who signed the agreement gave him the seat. Honestly, this is really an agreement. And this other person here said they succeeded in pushing Tinubu to set up forest guards under the control of NSA. Tinubu himself has directed NSA to recruit people into forest guard and deploy to our forests all over the country. Guess whom they are recruiting? Miyetti Allah members. To members to guard you. This is unbelievable. Miyetti Allah. Hey! Nuri Badu recruits Miyetti Allah into our architecture. And this one is it's very obvious that the Fulani politician, no matter how highly placed, from the Sultan, the governors, senators, down to their foot soldiers, the Miyetti Allahs, all working hand in hand, terrorizing Nigeria in order to Islamize it. It's called division of labor. Point a finger to the left, right, back, and roundabout, it will still fall on a Buharidin or a Batidiot. They are back-to-back corrupt plus partnering with terrorists. I mean, tell me why Tinubu is leaving these things in the hands of Ribadu, who is also a Fulani man who wants to protect Fulani interests. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about this in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell notification. Thank you.